The Ark of the Covenant. When these words are spoken, people instinctively lower their voices. Because this is not the story of an ordinary object. It is the story of humanity coming face to face with its limits. Everything began in the desert, in a vast, silent, endless emptiness. A place cold at night and burning during the day. In that land, people were not only walking forward, they were also carrying what they believed in. Human memory is fragile. It forgets with time. It struggles to remember the promises made in moments of hardship. The Ark of the Covenant was built against this forgetfulness. A reminder, a boundary, a wait. Before the Ark was built, there was a long period of waiting. It did not arrive like a command. It felt more like a necessity, because there was a meaning that needed protection, and that meaning could not be left exposed. The wood to be used was chosen carefully, not a common or easily found tree. It had to be strong, hard, and resistant to decay. After it was cut, it was not worked immediately. It was left to time, allowed to dry, because it was known that nothing made in haste lasts long. When the craftsmen began their work, the place was quiet. No one spoke loudly. Every measurement was checked again and again. Every piece was placed with care, because this ark allowed no mistakes. When the shape of the ark emerged, gold was used. Not for display. Gold was chosen because it does not rust, because it resists time. The ark was covered with gold both inside and out, because in this story, there could be no difference between what was seen and what was hidden. Rings were placed on the corners of the ark. These rings were for carrying it. But touching the ark itself was forbidden. Even those who carried it could not touch it directly. So long poles were made, and those poles were never removed from the ark. That detail alone carried a message. This ark belonged to no one. People were only its bearers. The making of the lid took the longest time. It was formed from a single piece of gold, not assembled from separate parts, because unity mattered. Wings rose upward, not to fly, but to protect, not to conceal, but to guard. When the ark was completed, nothing was placed inside immediately. Even this waiting was meaningful, because sometimes being ready for something is harder than using it. In time, stone tablets were placed inside the ark. These tablets did not merely carry words. They carried responsibility, a reminder, a boundary. Wherever the ark was taken, the atmosphere changed. People walked more slowly. Voices softened. Steps became cautious, because everyone felt the same thing. This ark was not ordinary. Those who walked with it felt protected, but also uneasy, because power always demands a price. Over time, stories about the ark multiplied. Some spoke of walls falling before it. Others whispered about the fate of those who showed it disrespect. How much of this was true is unknown. But one thing is certain. The Ark of the Covenant affected people. Years passed. Generations changed. Faith wavered. Kingdoms rose and fell. Temples were built and destroyed. And one day, the Ark of the Covenant disappeared. No one could give a certain answer. Was it looted, hidden, or destroyed? No one knows. Perhaps people were no longer ready to carry it. Or perhaps the ark chose to retreat from the noise. Even today, when the Ark of the Covenant is mentioned, voices fall. Because this story is not told aloud. It lives in whispers. The Ark of the Covenant reminds us of this. True power is not possession. True power is knowing your limits. And perhaps that is why its story has never truly ended.